My name is Ellis Ross. I'm an Aboriginal born on reserve in Kitimat Village, BC. Initially, when I got into politics, I let my name stand at nomination because I thought I could take some of my council's resources and help my basketball teams that I was coaching, men's, women's, girls, boys, only to find out that my band was one of the poorest bands on the west coast of BC. We had no money. And so that opened up my world to what governance was all about. I had to think outside the box to help people that truly needed help. So I kind of grew into the role. I come from a tough background, but with hard work and with some dedication and sacrifice, myself and my wife carved out good lives for ourselves. And now our children are actually on a better path. So I always keep that back in my mind that the general population, not all of us are educated or well off. It helps when leaders understand this. So when I became a leader of my community, I decided to actually work as hard as I could to bring opportunity. First for my community, but then I realized that the region needed opportunity. And so it kind of went hand in hand. That led me to the MLA's position, where I thought that the failure of LNG in BC was something I could fix, I could help. And so I resigned as chief councillor and got elected as MLA twice. In my learning curve, in terms of looking at society as well as our economy, there's one thing I noticed. Through the toughest times, the well-educated people do okay. They're fine, they can survive. But the people that need a helping hand, suffer the most. And so I'm all for the economy for a strong province, strong communities. But I've always thought about those people that need an extra hand. And that's what I try to do by creating the opportunity so that somebody can walk through the door to that opportunity. I think I'd bring a different perspective. As British Columbians, considering where we're going in the next 10, 20, 30 years, we've got to put aside our politics and we've got to rethink where our future lies. Because if we don't, we're in for some dark times. And more importantly, our kids will be in for dark times. And I don't want that to happen. We're in a unique position right now to consider the leadership of a party that knows how to develop an economy. And I'd like to take the skills and expertise of BC Liberals and take that to the next level. The past 4 years, I've been listening to British Columbians and BC Liberals saying that we need change. The BC Liberals have to change. I might add that as British Columbia as a province, we need change. And I am that change. I'm Ellis Ross, and I'm running to be the leader of the BC Liberals. Please visit our website, ellisrossforbc.ca, for more information and, more importantly, to learn how to sign up as a BC Liberal member so you can vote for me on February 5th, 2022.
All right. Hey guys. Azim, Ellis. I want to thank everybody for being here today. Events, gatherings like these of politically interested people are what keep our system together. Our democracy, which we cherish, which Ellis, you of all people especially know, is so important to us in British Columbia and in Canada. So thank you all. Ellis, I'm honored to be up here on stage with you today.
Thanks,
My name is Azim. I'm the Director of Communications for Ellis's campaign, and what a journey it's been.
Thank you. Likewise.
So, Ellis is a very humble guy, and there's some things that he won't say about himself, so I've got to say them for him. Ellis Ross is a recipient of the Order of British Columbia, of the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal. He's been named one of the most influential, important people in British Columbia by several magazines. He's been invited as a keynote speaker to conferences on climate change, economic development, and reconciliation. He's an expert in these subject matter areas, although he sometimes won't admit it.
You guys should be writing this down. There'll be a test later.
So you've seen the video showing a little bit about Ellis's background. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. Ellis, right here, would you be able to read this message which you put out on Twitter?
They taught me how to value family, community, hunt, fish.
No. I know it's close to you. Dad wanted me to stand up for those who couldn't. Mom taught me to provide. They both went to residential school and didn't complain about their lot in life, and we miss them terribly. And your parents did come from a different place, from Reserve, and so did you. Those are the values they instilled in you, and it's what you were brought up with. Why do you think those values and your lived experiences make you the right person to lead the BC Liberal Party?
Well, because I'm grassroots. When you're talking about grassroots, you're talking about people all over BC, just regular people that really want to just actually make their way through life. They want to prosper, not only for themselves, but for their families, for their kids and their grandkids. That's the kind of values and the principles that I've actually employed throughout all my political career. It was always about, making sure that people had a good life, and in turn the community would get stronger, and in turn the province would get stronger. It's something I've never steered away from in the last 17 years of my leadership.
And the other picture we've got next to that is you receiving the Order of British Columbia. Could you speak to a little bit of why you received the order and the work that you did?
Well, that was actually bestowed on me by Christy Clark. And that's actually where I truly started to understand what it was like to have a working relationship with a party that had the same values that I was trying to achieve for my communities and my region. And mainly what it was is our cooperation with the BC Liberals in terms of trying to get LNG across the finish line, getting the first ever forest and range agreement signed in 2006, as well as some mining projects, and on and on and on. It's actually why I joined the BC Liberals in 2017, because I wanted to help the BC Liberals get LNG as well as some other projects. So I think the BC Liberals is actually aligned with my values more than any other party.
Absolutely. And can you speak to how it transformed your region when you were able to successfully collaborate with other leaders, with community groups, and get that across the finish line? What that did for people in terms of having a job that could provide for the first time?
Oh, it was night and day. You got to remember, in our region, the methanol plant had shut down, the pulp and paper mill had shut down, forestry wasn't doing so great, and then so there was nothing. So as a young man, like many young men in our region, we had no opportunity. But working with the BC Liberals in terms of LNG, with LNG Canada, the $40 billion project that's actually getting built right now in Kitimat, the largest private investment in Canadian history, provided 10,000 jobs at least from Fort St. John to Kitimat Village and some First Nation communities down Channel. It actually transformed BC. That's what I was a part of. And now, no longer in our region, we're not talking about welfare lists. We're not talking about poverty. The next generation is talking about mortgages. They're talking about vacations. They're talking about buying vehicles, boats. It's absolutely night and day. And so that's what I really appreciate about a party that actually believes strongly in economic development, even though I've got different opinions on it. I truly believe we can have economic development with high environmental standards, which we prove in Kitimat. But we can also address a large number of the social issues that we addressed in Kitimat. We're living proof.
Now, Ellis, first, I've got to ask you a little bit about your change narrative. You've been described as the change candidate. It's what we hear from people when we visit rooms in Richmond, Surrey, Burnaby, Coquitlam, Prince Rupert, all across British Columbia. Why do you think that is?
You know what? I've gone around there and just told the truth. It's something I was taught to do. Just be honest and be truthful. It's what my dad and my mother taught me throughout my career. So I can't really subscribe to the politician's narrative. I can't do that. I've never done it before. I've actually gone out and told people what I'm going to do. I give them updates, and then I told them the results of it, whether it was successful or not. It's actually provides so much success, and I think that's what people are looking for. People that we go around all around BC, Richmond, Surrey, Fort St. John, Cranbrook, they're tired of politics. They're tired of the politician's narrative. They're tired of the false promises. And given the fork in the road that we're at right now, I think it's more important than ever to steer away from politics, especially division politics, because we got a choice to make. We either go down this dark road of COVID and everything that entails, including the societal impacts, as well as the economic impacts, or we pick another road. And this is why I think that people all over the place, from Richmond to Surrey to Cranbrook to Fort St. John, that's why people are actually aligning with us and joining up to our campaign.
And Ellis, when we talk about the old way of doing politics, one of the things that we hear leadership campaigns doing a lot is making promises to other politicians and promises to organizers on the ground. How do you feel about that? Have you been doing that on your campaign?
No, and it is something that I've learned over the years as a leader not to do it. I'm just running on the principle that I can offer a different brand of leadership. That's all I'm doing. And I take that back from the previous 17 years of experience in terms of people wanting me to make promises to other parties or campaigns or promises I can't keep. I can't do that. I got to be realistic. It actually, not only does it speak to leadership, it actually speaks to good governance. And that everything that entails good governance, that's where I think we got to be heading as BC, even for the short term. Because like the video said, we're in for some dark times if we don't get this ship under control. This is the party to do it, and I've done it before, I can do it again.
And in the Lower Mainland, we're packing out rooms all across the Lower Mainland. What are the people saying to you? Why do you think they're so receptive to you and what you're saying?
Well, I'm basically just going out there and telling them exactly what I'm just telling you right now. In fact, if you think about what they've done in Richmond, it took a while for them to warm up to me, but I've been invited back 5 times.
Different people every time.
And different people every time. They're bringing in groups to come and meet us. Surrey, we've been out there 4 times. Each time it's a different group that comes in. It's gotten to the point now where when I walk into a temple in Surrey, for example, people are saying hi to me in the lobby. They actually got me up to dance, very poorly I might add, at Diwali, and when I tried to quit, they dragged me back on the floor to do some more dancing. But it comes down to what's resonating, it's listening. I mean, thinking about the people in Surrey, for example, we know they want a hospital and school, but did you know they want recreational facilities for their young people to steer them away from the crime, the life of crime? Did we know that there's communities there that want to build senior homes? We got to get back to listening. We got to get back in those church basements where there's only 3 people showing up. We got to get back in the restaurants where only 6 or 7 people showing up and just talk. We don't have to have the 700 people at a function. And it can't be just when we want something out of these communities. If the demographic has been changing so much and the politics have been changing so much all across BC, we got to get in there and understand the new issues. The old formula for the BC Liberals worked. It did work. It's a good foundation. But we got to build on it because we haven't changed with the times. That's what I'm proposing, and I think that's why so many people are signing on to our campaign.
And here we've got a slide and it's showing the level of engagement we're getting through our Facebook page. And as we can see, it's more than the BC Liberal Party and all the other campaigns combined. Ellis, why do you think your message of change that can win is resonating with British Columbians at such a high level?
I think it speaks to 2 things. Number one, it speaks to technology. And I've been doing social media for the better part of 15 years. When Facebook came around, I actually latched onto it because I was told if you don't get onto social media, it'll be like the people that ignored telephones and computers. So I've been doing it. And by the way, when you look at these numbers, I have not boosted any of these numbers. I have not paid for any of these numbers to be boosted. This is natural. Some of the videos I put out there in the last 10 years are reaching 500,000 views because the message is simple, but the platform is something of the future. This is only going to get bigger, not only in terms of social media, but the technology. And this is where we're lacking in BC.
And in the BC Liberal Party. And
the BC Liberal Party. I mean, I know this from the inside out. And so Facebook, WhatsApp, those are all good platforms, but there's more coming down. There's Instagram, for example. TikTok. There's more coming down. There's other ethnic social media platforms that the BC Liberals have to acknowledge and they have to accept. It's a different world out there, and the younger generation is living in it. We've got to reach into technology, not only for the betterment of BC's future, but for the sake of reaching out to those British Columbians that don't know about us because we're not taking advantage of social media platforms.
And I got one last question for you, Ellis, before we wrap up today. What does change that can win mean to you? And why are you the change candidate?
I think change that can win is actually doing what I'm doing right now. Going out there and talking to British Columbians. And you know what? We've got to win in 2024 if we want to turn around this province. What we're seeing right now in terms of high taxes, high debt, high deficit, high interest on that debt, that's a check that's going to have to be cashed by our kids and our grandkids. That's not right. We've got to turn this around. That's why I'm proposing change. Not only for the BC Liberals, but British Columbia as a whole.
All right, well, thank you everybody here in this room for taking the time to listen to us today. Ellis, thank you so much for having me with you on stage. I appreciate it.